Alright everybody, welcome back to part 3 of a breakdown of some of the core concepts of the Advanced Platoon Leader system. So what do we have going on now? We have the American squad who foolishly moved further up into the open, now within range of this German squad here, and this German squad will attempt to conduct opportunity fire. Again, if you're using the AI, you would conduct a roll to determine if that was the case. Let's assume that the result of that roll was, in fact, the conducting of opportunity fire. Opportunity fire is conducted at half firepower, so half of 4 is 2. We would roll 2 hit dice, 1 fire intensity die, and 1 fire regulation die, and these are always rolled with the hit dice. So rolling that, that would be 1 hit. This is interesting. Alright, here we go. We got a 6 here, which means we have a hit, so we would adjust his strength accordingly. So first squad is now a 5, not a 6. If these were both hits, meaning more hits than misses, the squad would also be suppressed. Now looking here, with the fire intensity die is the same as the fire regulation die. However, the unit is in the open. That brings the fire intensity die up to 4, and that is now a +1 morale check, whereas prior to that adjustment it would have been a regular morale check. So now he will conduct a +1 morale check. That is a 6, +1 is 7. Passes the morale check. Somehow, miraculously, God is smiling upon that unit. As such, if he had broken, he would simply be flipped over in the same manner that we did the German unit here. Also, should have rolled and would do so as well for him. A broken unit would roll an additional morale check. Let's assume that he broke, rolls an additional morale check, which would be an 8, for instance. He would then also spend, since 8 is greater than his morale of 7 by 1, he would expend at least 1 movement point, moving away from the unit that fired at him. That's how that works. So, nobody else can conduct opportunity fire, and again, the opportunity fire does not cost an action point, but the unit is turned as if he spent an action. That brings us to another chit drawer, and that is an American rally phase, which that unit had broken. That still would do us no good because the command distance is such that the unit could not rally. That distance would need to be bridged, and to do so you'd have to move the leader up or a squad to put a link in the chain, as it were. Next shit drawn, German movement phase. Again, if you're not using the German AI included in the game, you might decide that everybody's pretty cozy where they are. However, maybe this guy wants to be within line of sight of what's going on. A couple movement points expended brings that 3 down to a 2. And if you were using the AI, a little less straightforward, obviously, but there is a number of ways via priority list and some die rolls that would determine if anybody moves, where, etc. So that's that. And the AI is probably something that is best left in another episode, in which we can dedicate the entire episode to specifically that. That leaves German rally phase, and lucky for them, they have some action points left to spend on a rally attempt. And this guy was a 6, so rolling 2 dice, he gets a 6 and he rallies. Now, let's assume he didn't have any action points. He wouldn't be able to rally, right? No, that is incorrect, because he is adjacent to his leader. Now, being in the same square or adjacent to a leader can be pretty important or handy, because in doing so, if you don't have action points, you can siphon off any available leader action points. So a leader at any point could have as much as 2. You could siphon off as many as 2. Therefore, he could have rallied even if they had no action points, assuming the leader had not expended any himself. So there's that. And then the final chit drawn is the American Assault chit. Doesn't do anybody any good there. And that's the end of the turn. You would adjust to the next turn, put the chips back in the draw cup, and roll for more action points just as you did in the last turn. Additional units that are still unspotted in this next turn would need to be rolled to determine if they are in fact still unspotted. Everybody gets turned back to the fresh status, and again, conduct more of the same. So what else do we have going on here? I think that might be a good stopping point for these. I've done 2 and then this one. I'm going to come back at you with some more. We'll hone in and focus more on specific things such as the AI. Let me just scroll through a few things here and make sure there isn't anything I could leave you guys with. No, I don't think so. I think we'll leave it at that, and when I come back at you again, we can cover things like support weapons, dedicate an episode to AI. Probably be a good idea to even run through a bona fide scenario, but again, I wanted to just give you a general kind of gloss over at least a breakdown of some of the concepts of this game, so you can kind of get a taste of what you're in for. This stuff is, in a lot of ways, very different from the original Platoon Leader game system. In other ways, it's very similar. But again, there are things that needed to change in order to add more detail, in order to make this a bit more historical in feel. I did the best I could do in that regard, but again, as many similarities, there's just as many differences between the two systems. A question was asked, can you bridge the two? Sure, yeah, there's definitely the ability to do some crossover and add chunks of one or the other, both of them together to create a dumbed down version of Advanced Platoon Leader, or a dumbed up version of Platoon Leader, I guess you could look at it that way. But I really want people to come into this as kind of a new separate game system. If you've played the original system before, fine, that's great. Certainly it'll help you with a few aspects, but also don't feel as if you need to play the original system. There is enough in here by way of rules, etc. You're going to get it. It's not that you need to buy the first game to understand anything in this. It's all in here. So I think that's it. I'll be coming at you with some more of these, and until then, thanks for watching.